Assalamualaikum, I am Kutai matrix number 2020887222. Explain the introduction of this case study. This case study is from a traditional Malay house that was built on steel with a post and lintel structure made of bamboo or timber. The main function of traditional Malay house design are to provide natural ventilation and natural lighting, also to reduce the thermal insulation in the building. On top of that, the traditional Malay house was designed to provide high mobility to move the house when necessary. The steeply sloped roof design were covered with local palm tree are great for tropical climate country, and the house are divided into few areas with different functions for the occupants. However, after the World War II, many changes has been done due to the growth of population in this country. An enormous amount of single and double-story houses were built to create a township and suburban. Hence, it is important for us to learn the design of traditional Malay house and maintain it properly. Next is building background of this case study. Building background. In this case study, the concept of the house are Perak House or Kutai House, which is located at Jalan Kota Lama Kiri, Kuala Kangsar, Perak, and was built around 1840 to 1940. This house currently used for public purposes and was built using mostly cengal timber. This building was built with the height of 7,665 mm on posts above the ground, with 41 units of footings, 41 units of columns, and the roof was designed with trusses and roofing cover that was made with corrugated zinc.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Amir Hakim Yusri. Matric number 2020451622. I will present about building design. Building dimensions. These are the measured drawing plan for the Rumah Kutai Perak, which are the floor plan, roof plan, front elevation, rear elevation, right elevation, and also the left elevation. Building jointing. There are several jointing that can be found in this Rumah Kutai Perak. For the first one, the jointing between the timber column and the pad footing. Column and the foundation are connected by the extended steel rod from the center of the pad footing. A timber setter will be inserted in the column as a lock between the connection of the timber column and the pad footing. Second building jointing is timber column and floor beam. Column and the floor beam are connected by tanggam tebuk. Two rectangular holes will be made at the top of the timber column to be connected by the floor beam. The other hole will be inserted by timber wedges to tighten and straighten the connection. The third one is floor beam and floor joist. Tanggam lekap palang is used to connect floor beam and floor joist. Parade are made on the timber for the floor beam and floor joist with a depth of half of the thickness of the timber. Both parade will be mounted together without any glue or nails. After that, we also have the jointing at the stringer and floor beam. Stair stringer is connected to the floor beam by tanggam parade, which is a parade is made on the stringer with a big inclination. The parade on the stringer then is mounted with the floor beam. Last but not least is the building jointing and the thread and stringer of the stairs. Tanggam lubang dan puting on the jointing of the thread and the stringer are connected by the puting and the thread that be inserted in the holes at the stringer. There are two puting at the left and right side of the thread, which will tighten and lock the connection of the thread and stringer.
Hi, Assalamualaikum. My name is Muhammad Syami bin Ombong from AP1193E. My matric number is 2020849544. So today, I will present about building spaces, building symbols and characteristics. First one is Kutai Asli. Kutai Asli house consists of Rumah Ibu main house and Rumah Tangga stairs. The Rumah Ibu component has a gable roof hanging from 50 degrees to 60 degrees with cantilevered gable walls on both sides of the Rumah Ibu. This traditional roof shape is called bumbung panjang by the locals. The house is identified by the shape of the roof and the number of pillars in the Rumah Ibu. It is built on pillars that support the entire structure of the house. The floor is between 5 feet and 6 feet above the ground. The roof is slightly arched in the middle of the roof, about 2.5 below to the top of the roof at both ends through front elevation. Both the Kutai Asli T16 and Kutai Asli T12 have a similar front and side elevations. The Kutai Asli is consisted of two types of Kutai, Kutai T12 and Kutai T16. The list of Kutai Asli has classified in the category of early and original Kutai is divided into two types. The second one is Kutai Anjung. Kutai Anjung consists of Rumah Ibu and the Anjung area, which is an additional protruding facade space of the original Rumah Ibu, placed perpendicularly and extending from the central facade of Rumah Ibu. The panel shape forms T-shapes. From studied components through form, constructive components and decorative elements, the evolution took place in the development of the Kutai Anjung house. Although the progress is gradual, but the implication towards originality of Kutai Asli has moved from using its materiality and rationality. The last one is Kutai Anjung Beranda. This is composed of Rumah Ibu, Anjung and Beranda. The beranda is used in the Kutai house is an additional space to the entrance area rumah tangga in the front house. It is an intermediate space between the two staircases, which is lower than the level of the living room of Rumah Ibu and Anjung. It also created enough space for informal activities such as entertaining male guests of informal friends. Kutai Anjung Beranda still has the same characteristic and shape as Kutai Anjung with a T-shaped house plan. The number of tiang is always based on the number of columns of Rumah Ibu. The columns supporting the beranda components are independent and sometimes share the weight of the tiang pendek of the Rumah Ibu using the tutupai. The next one is building symbols and characteristics. Construction of building component of Kutai house. From research conducted by Arifat and Talib in 2004 on a methodological approach, in-depth investigation and analysis of the architecture of Perak Malay Kutai, they stated that Chinese builders played a role in the construction of the Malaysian house, especially during the evolution of Rumah Kutai Anjung. Researchers have observed that some houses are the same length or even the same size. Therefore, they concluded that the material, the carpentry technique and the cleaning of the construction were not made by the Malaysians. However, the assembly system that can be produced by Chinese manufacturers remains to be discovered. These are differences that will distinguish the Malaysian and Chinese manufacturers. Environmental factors contributed. The first one is cultural landscape. According to Melnick, the principles and resources of the cultural landscape are difficult to recognize because they have influences rapid growth and global climate change. One is hard landscape. Harsh landscaping can be artificial elements in the context of garden design. It is the creation of an add-on which completes the arrangement of garden. Observation shows that present day, society tends to use the harsh landscape as an attractive part of its landscape setting. The last one is soft landscape. Referring to Ani et al. 2012, personal ties with nature are strongly consolidated because man fertilizes the earth with plants while nature contributes to water and food reserves. It allows humans to adapt to the external environment by providing shade, thermal comfort and internal ventilation.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. My name is Nur Sheila binti Muhammad Sa'dun. My matrix number 2020893622. I am from class 3E. Building elements type of Perak traditional house. Wall. Bamboo comes have double the compressive strength of concrete and the tensile strength of steel, making them one of the most durable building materials. After harvesting, we are unable to use bamboo for building. For floor joists are an essential component of a floor's supporting structure. Joists are installed at a very early stage in the construction process, and they may need to be changed in older structures related to wear or if they were damaged or if they were built incorrectly during construction. Stringer staircase. A stringer staircase is a long horizontal piece of wood used to link frame, upright or support a floor. Stringers are the supports that hold your staircase steps in roof. The roof is hip roof. The pyramid and the convection center roof are two other names for hip roof, namely mansard roof and half hip are a bit of a modification of a conventional hip roof. Hip roof are regarded to be one of the most basic type of hip roof. Second is gable roof. Gable roof is an architectural element in a triangle-shaped roof covering kind of pitch roof that has two slopes, one of which is lower than the upper. The upper one is made up of a basic roof design with two pitches that meet in the ridge. Pitch roof. Pitch roof is a sloping roof is another name for a pitch roof. A symmetrically pitched roof with equal slope and pitch to a central ridge is also erected. The minimum slope required to exclude the roof covering and drain rainfall to the overhang or valley gutter determines the pitch roof least slope. Finishes of Perak traditional house is cladding. Cladding is a term that refers to components that are attached to the main framework of a building to produce non-structural external surfaces. External surfaces are made by brick walls in construction when the outer surfaces are produced by building elements such as masonry walls or applied surfaces such as render or rendered surfaces are examples of structural components. Building element of Perak traditional house, window and doors. Window is double sash window, often known as a double sash, is made up of two sashes. Door, double hinge door. Door give entry and privacy to the occupants of the house.
Assalamualaikum, my name is NATASHA'S, student ID 2020811624. The mechanical services in Rumah Kutai is basically this house use natural ventilation since there is no mechanical ventilation such as air conditioning. The ventilation used in this house is from the openings such as windows, doors, walls, and the roof. Fans is also used in this house to provide more cool effects to occupants in the house, especially during a hot day. Next, electrical services in Rumah Kutai. The use of electrical is on lamps, TV antenna, socket, electrical power distribution, telephone or communication system, and the others. In electrical installation, to protect wires running along wood surface, use fireproof or conduction box for electrical wiring. This service covers methods of wiring, schemes of distribution, and protection for lighting and power installation. Next, plumbing system is any system that facilitates the passage of fluids such as pipes, valves, plumbing fixtures, tanks, and other equipment. In the old days, Kutai house used wells as the water supply system in the house. Lastly, lighting system in Kutai house mostly receive a lot of natural lighting through the opening in the windows, door, roof, and walls. Kutai house also used artificial lighting, which is fluorescent lamps, to provide more lighting. And the study on Kutai house has identified an overview of the construction techniques of Rumah Kutai. This study has identified the types of jointing system, material used in construction, building services, and the floor plan of each section. Many architectural and structural aspects retain their own distinct identity, especially as the architecture of Perak people's local residents. However, maintenance or inspection of the building needs to be done to preserve the heritage of this traditional house.